At a hospital outside New York City, a terminal cancer patient named Alicia was receiving treatment. With little time left, she grew increasingly withdrawn, her only companion being her cat, Frado. During a therapy session, Alicia was given the chance to read her own poetry. However, everyone was stunned when her words were filled with anger and curses. A nurse named Ruben encouraged her to join other patients on a trip downtown to watch a puppet show for relaxation. Alicia agreed on one condition: after the show, they had to stop at a specific pizza place. Surprisingly, Ruben accepted the deal, and Alicia quickly prepared by changing her special cancer dressings and bringing Frado along. As their bus crossed the bridge connecting the hospital area to New York City, Alicia noticed a squadron of fighter jets soaring above. At first, she enjoyed the puppet show, but when the story turned somber, she decided to leave early. While stopping at a shop to buy candy, she saw military vehicles speeding through the streets. Moments later, she ran into Ruben, who was on a call with the hospital until the signal abruptly cut off. He informed her that they needed to return immediately due to an unknown emergency. Frustrated that her pizza stop was canceled, Alicia lashed out, insisting that Ruben was just a nurse, not her friend, before storming onto the bus. Before the group could leave, Alicia noticed the other patients staring at something behind them. Curious, she turned around only to witness meteors plummeting from the sky. One crashed dangerously close to their bus, causing a violent shockwave that sent debris flying. Dazed and ears ringing, Alicia struggled to stand, realizing chaos surrounded her. As she stepped outside to assess the situation, she saw injured people everywhere, while distant explosions rocked the city. Then an eerie silence fell. Alicia froze as she saw a person being dragged away by something barely visible. Panicked, she backed away and encountered a soldier who ordered her to take cover, only for him to be suddenly snatched by the unseen force. Terrified, she hid behind a car with a group of civilians. That's when she saw it, a horrifying creature, confirming that the falling meteors were actually part of an alien invasion. As screams filled the air, the alien attacked, sending Alicia scrambling for safety. Just then, an ambulance sped past only to be struck, exploding on impact. The force of the blast hurled Alicia into a glass window, knocking her unconscious. Sometime later, she woke up inside a dimly lit building. A man named Henry quickly covered her mouth, signaling her to stay silent. Alicia was led into the theater building, where many civilians were already hiding, trying to stay as quiet as possible. Some were injured, and to her surprise, she found Ruben, who had managed to secure Frado. Moments later, a helicopter flew low over the area, broadcasting a message urging everyone to remain silent and await further instructions. However, the loudspeaker immediately drew the aliens' attention. The creatures attacked the helicopter, and the sound of crashing metal echoed as tremors shook the ground. Frightened, Frado bolted, forcing Alicia to chase after him. As she ran, she stumbled upon numerous lifeless bodies scattered across the floor. In her panic, she accidentally stepped on shattered glass, the sharp crack echoing through the silence. Frozen in fear, she remained still until Ruben appeared to calm her down. Both of them watched as one of the aliens prowled toward the sound. Then, out of nowhere, Frado brushed against a bell on a nearby costume. Alicia quickly grabbed her cat and darted behind a pillar just as the alien stormed in, ready to attack. Holding their breath, they observed the creature searching for its prey, kicking objects aside as it moved. At one point, it stood terrifyingly close to Ruben's face, yet it didn't react, revealing that the aliens were blind. Before it could detect them, another helicopter flew by, drawing its attention away. As the alien rushed toward the new noise, Alicia and Ruben realized the horrifying truth: there were far more of them than they had imagined. They remained hidden, waiting until the creatures had passed. Later, Alicia wiped her face and removed her now useless cancer dressings. While wandering through the building, she found a woman listening to a radio. The emergency broadcast announced a designated evacuation point, but warned everyone to stay away from bridges. The woman also noted that the invasion was global. Most countries had been attacked by the same extraterrestrial threat. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupted outside. Rushing to check, they witnessed the military destroying the bridges upon discovering that the aliens couldn't swim. One by one, the connecting bridges collapsed before their eyes. A man among them panicked, declaring that those left behind were doomed. As hysteria spread, Henry rushed to silence him. A struggle ensued, and in the chaos, Henry accidentally slammed the man's head against the wall, killing him instantly. Sometime later, Alicia scribbled a message to Ruben, stating that she was going to Harlem for pizza. Ruben tried to stop her, but their exchange was cut short when the power went out, triggering the backup generator with a loud mechanical roar. Realizing the noise would attract the aliens, Ruben rushed to shut it down. Though he managed to do so, his clothes got caught, leaving him trapped. The sound had already alerted a nearby alien. In an instant, the creature pounced, killing him on the spot. Alicia watched in horror, clutching her mouth shut to keep from screaming. The next morning, Alicia remained determined to head to Harlem, bringing Frado along. As she walked, the full scale of the city's destruction became painfully clear. Everywhere she looked, ruins and devastation surrounded her. Stopping by a small store, she gathered some essential supplies before sitting near a fountain to open a can of food. To her surprise, the sound of rushing water masked her actions, preventing the aliens from hearing. Taking advantage of this, she fed Frado as well. While there, Alicia discovered two children hiding beneath the fountain. She handed them some chocolate, offering a small moment of comfort. Suddenly, helicopters flew overhead, announcing an urgent message: any survivors were to evacuate to the southern docks, where ships awaited. However, the noise immediately drew the aliens' attention. Swarms of them scaled buildings, leaping to attack the helicopters. Alicia quickly ushered the children into hiding, waiting until the creatures moved on before attempting to leave. Just as they stepped out, an alien crashed down from above, smashing through a fence. The impact sent a cloud of dust into the air, causing Alicia to cough. Sensing the noise, the alien froze, waiting for another sound to pinpoint its target. Holding their breath, Alicia and the children stayed silent until it finally moved away. As they emerged once more, they saw that many other survivors were still alive, all making their way toward the docks. Feeling it was now safe, Alicia urged the children to follow the crowd while she chose to go in the opposite direction. But the mass movement of people, combined with the crunching of debris underfoot, once again attracted the aliens. Chaos erupted as the creatures attacked, hurling cars and causing explosions that sent shockwaves through the streets. The force of one blast knocked Alicia off her feet, and in the confusion, Frado bolted away. Desperate to chase after her cat, Alicia struggled against the frantic mob, unable to move far without being trampled. She shifted to an open space to avoid being crushed and watched in horror as the aliens slaughtered one survivor after another. Spotting a gap beneath the car, she crawled under it for cover. Just then, a man's desperate cries for help rang out, only for an alien to stomp down on him, its weight crushing Alicia's foot in the process. Gritting her teeth, she forced herself free and limped away in search of Frado. Several meters later, she stumbled into an alley to catch her breath. Elsewhere, Frado chased a rat into a flooded subway station, stopping to drink from a puddle. Nearby, a man named Eric, panting heavily, emerged from the shadows. He noticed the cat and, out of curiosity, followed it, eventually leading him straight to Alicia. When she gestured for him to leave, Eric refused. As rain began to pour, Alicia urged him to evacuate toward the docks instead, but he was too afraid to go alone. Reluctantly, he agreed to stay with her, unwilling to argue further. That night, they arrived at an apartment building. Alicia's key was still at the hospital, so she needed another way inside. Not wanting to attract the aliens, she instructed Eric to break down the door, timing it precisely with the next thunderclap. After making it inside, Alicia was surprised to find her cancer patches missing. Meanwhile, Eric revealed that he was a British law student with no family in the city. Hearing this, Alicia mentioned her only goal to get a pizza. Eric, without hesitation, offered to go with her. While looking around, Eric noticed a photo of Alicia's late father, a pianist, and stumbled upon her poetry journal. As he read, he realized Alicia was terminally ill, which explained why she wasn't in a hurry to evacuate. She was determined to fulfill her final wish. Overwhelmed by frustration, Alicia screamed as thunder rumbled outside. Understanding her despair, Eric joined in, shouting into the storm. The next morning, Alicia jolted awake from a nightmare about an alien attack. Seeing Eric still asleep, she decided to slip away, hoping he would find his way to the evacuation zone. Later, as Alicia rested in front of a bookstore, Eric unexpectedly caught up with her, returning her forgotten journal. Without speaking, he signaled his intent to stay by her side. Just as they prepared to move on, Alicia accidentally dropped the book, the sound echoing through the quiet streets. The aliens responded instantly, forcing them to flee into a nearby building. Though they managed to get inside, the entrance was blocked by a bag. Eric tried to push it away, but the force caused the door to break, making a loud noise that immediately drew the aliens. With no other choice, they sprinted deeper into the building, hoping to escape. However, the creatures soon dropped in from above, cutting off their path. With no other option, they rushed outside, still pursued. Thinking quickly, Eric smashed a car window, triggering its alarm. The noise distracted the aliens, allowing them to escape into an underground subway station. Despite making it inside, one of the creatures lurked nearby. They remained silent, waiting until the coast was clear before moving forward. As they carefully navigated the flooded tracks, they spotted an alien seemingly resting in the water. Suddenly, the flood levels rose, triggering Eric's fear. He had nearly drowned when Frodo first found him. Alicia, trying to calm him, covered his mouth to prevent any noise. Unfortunately, the alien heard them and charged, forcing them to swim for their lives while keeping Frodo afloat. As the creature closed in, Alicia realized there was no other way. She urged Eric to dive underwater, hoping it would throw off their pursuer. Surprisingly, the alien continued chasing them only to drown moments later. Reaching a large opening, Eric helped Alicia climb out just as Frodo ran off again. As they took in their surroundings, they realized they had surfaced inside a church. Weakened, Alicia collapsed, slipping into a dream where she saw her father praying over her. When she woke up, her condition had worsened. Seeing her growing weaker, Eric asked what medicine she needed, then bravely decided to venture out alone in search of a pharmacy, determined to save the friend he had just met. As Eric stepped into the abandoned pharmacy, he was startled by Frodo's sudden appearance. After retrieving the necessary medicine, he took the cat with him. However, since he wasn't holding it tightly, Frodo slipped away, running toward a construction site. Chasing after the cat, Eric soon realized Frodo was nibbling on alien fungi. It turned out to be a feeding ground for the creatures, and Eric spotted one approaching. He quickly hid as more of them arrived to feast. Meanwhile, Frodo climbed onto the metal framework, forcing Eric to follow in an attempt to catch him. As he got closer, an alien appeared unexpectedly, freezing him in place. Fortunately, the creature didn't notice him. After some time, Eric successfully retrieved Frodo and returned to Alicia, giving her the cancer patches and helping her apply them. While waiting for her condition to stabilize, she shared a childhood memory watching her father perform piano at a cafe. After every show, he would always take her for pizza, a tradition that ended when he passed away. Hearing this, Eric finally understood why Alicia was so determined to reach the pizzeria and vowed to make sure she got her pizza. The next day, they set off toward the pizza place Alicia used to visit with her father, only to find it completely burned down. Devastated, Alicia stood in shock. Eric gently comforted her and asked her to show him the cafe where her father used to perform. Upon arriving, Alicia recharged her iPod before touching her father's old piano, while Eric stepped outside for a moment. Unbeknownst to her, he had gone searching for another pizza place. A while later, he returned with a surprise pizza, albeit a cold one. Inside the nostalgic cafe, they savored every bite, even letting Frodo have a piece. Eric then found a deck of cards and entertained Alicia with simple magic tricks, making her laugh for the first time in a while. After some time, they went to the balcony and saw the last evacuation ship departing, while a swarm of aliens gathered near the shore. Alicia handed Eric her yellow jacket, and together they carefully made their way toward the ship as the creatures remained distracted by the sounds in the water. Suddenly, Eric became anxious again, prompting Alicia to calm him down and place Frodo in his arms. She instructed him to run for the ship at the right moment. Once they had moved far enough, Alicia deliberately set off a car alarm, immediately drawing the aliens' attention. Hearing the commotion, the evacuees urged the crew to hold the ship a little longer. Eric, now easily visible in his bright jacket, took advantage of Alicia's diversion. However, as he rushed toward the shore, he accidentally kicked a can, alerting the aliens. A frantic chase ensued, but he managed to dive into the water just in time, clutching Frodo tightly. After exchanging a final glance with Alicia, he was pulled aboard the evacuation ship by the passengers. Overwhelmed with grief, he broke down in tears. As the ship sailed away, Eric reached into his jacket pocket and found a note from Alicia. In it, she asked him to take care of Frodo and thanked him for helping fulfill her last wish. Meanwhile, Alicia sat alone, gazing at an old childhood photo of her and her father. With a serene expression, she walked into the heart of the city, listening to her favorite song on her iPod. Unexpectedly, she removed her headphones, allowing the music to blast from her mini speaker. The deafening sound immediately caught the aliens' attention as they turned toward her.